M23 are not Rwandans.
They're on the move, thousands of Congolese people, with their lives on their backs.
La population de Goma qui soit calme, non?
Let the people of Goma be calm. Peace is here. We are a people's army. We will watch over their security. We will bring peace. No harassment. We do not steal. We do not rape.
First of all, let us ask ourselves whether the international powers have ever wanted the Congo crisis to be resolved. The answer is no.
Alors on se bat pour l'avenir de nos enfants.
We're fighting for the future of our children, he says. Sit down.
Assis-toi.
Hey, this is Janetta, and I got some things to talk to you about. I'm kind of hot this morning, but you forgive me, because you know what? I've been looking at several of the YouTube videos about concerning the Congo, and I've been listening to stuff that is just not proven. It's trash. It's things that the imperialists want us to say about each other. It's like that in the Congo, in DRC Congo, that people don't have any sense, and they got to always call on the UN or some outside help, white folks, to help us. But let me try to get you some things straight, get some things straightened out. First of all, if you realize this, the name, when it talks about DRC Congo, the only name that really comes up is Paul Kagame. Paul Kagame. Like that whole crap, all that trouble in the DRC is based on Paul Kagame because of the M23. Now, he's going to explain to you his position because he's at a meeting with the East African Council or Committee or Commission. He's with the East African Council, and they are trying to figure out what they're going to do about the Congo, about the DRC. Now, first of all, M23 is a rebel group, but they also have one called FDLR. The FDLR are actually people that are Rwandese, people that came out of the Rwanda during the time of that terrible, terrible problem that they had in Rwanda 30 years ago, where thousands of people were killed. And these were culprits that ran out of Rwanda fleeing the Hutus that ran out of Rwanda to flee into the Congo. Now, those people are Rwandese. And those are not the people that are associated with Paul Kagame. The ones that are associated with Paul Kagame are actually Tutsis. But those Tutsis that are living there in the Congo were born there. Their families from generation to generation to generation were there, and they're not Rwandese. They're not people from Rwanda. So this whole thing is really not about Rwanda and the Congo. The whole thing is about the money. The whole thing is about the minerals, the wealth in that area, in that eastern Congo area. And they want those people out of there. So since they're Tutsis, they have decided they want to move them back into Rwanda where they don't belong. They belong there on the eastern border of Rwanda and the Congo. So that area you hear that they're taking over their area. But the president of the Congo, with other help and assistance and encouragement, he's trying to take over that area, which is considered as a separate state. Okay. I want you to listen to Paul Kagame explain. Now, I heard someone saying that he's telling a lie. I hate it when people say somebody's telling a lie and they don't prove it. Everything you see on YouTube, what I say, or what anybody says, you need to check it out. Don't take it as word and run off with it. You need to check it out. And you especially need to check it out before you pass it on to others to listen to. And you need to check it out before you go on with it and believe it's fact. Because you know we have an enemy. And that enemy we have don't want us to be rich. And we are rich. And they're fighting to keep us being poor. So you have to remember, we are not each other's enemy. We are not each other's enemy, and we need to understand that. These people are after our wealth. They've had it, and they want it, and they don't have any attention on us being a free people. So they'll do everything, and they're doing everything they can, and we're pointing the fingers at each other. And as long as we keep pointing the fingers at each other, then they can work their work magic. Thousands of people are being killed. The president of that country, Felix Antoine Tshisekedi or something, I can't know it. Look him up. You hardly hear about him. You always hear about the president of Rwanda, but you never hear from that president of the DRC ever. There's not much he has said anywhere because they got his mouth shut up. But there's indications. He won't even show up at meetings. This meeting that they're having, that Paul Kagame is speaking at, that you're going to listen to this video, he didn't show up. The people from Kenya showed up, and that's in East Africa. Tanzania showed up. Uganda showed up. Burundi showed up. Rwanda showed up. But DRC Congo did not show up. They did not at all show up. Why? What is he afraid of? What is he afraid of? So I want you to listen to Paul Kagame. And if you can point out a lie to me in this video, I want you to let me know what that lie is, if you can prove it. Don't tell me it's a lie and you can't prove it. Okay, listen.
M23 are not Rwandans, please. These are Congolese, and one time he accepts it, then another time he says no, part of it is yes, and then the other part is from Rwanda, and these are the. He keeps on going. And how do we, leaders of our own countries, accept this to go on forever and just accept that we shall be manipulated by Tshisekedi or whoever is supporting him? And South Africa dares even issue threats about what is likely to happen after that, and so on and so forth. Of course, we will see what threats they are talking about.
Rwandan President Paul Kagame has dared Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa. Kagame said Ramaphosa is a liar and he should bring on the fight. Watch this.
Where is East African community, or does it exist? And exist for what? By the way, even now the person or the country we are talking about is not represented as we are discussing. And it is supposed to be, the country is supposed to be part of East Africa, but nowhere to be represented. So I'm not sure what bearing what we are discussing has on what happens in the process of finding a solution in this country. I'll move on. The conflict that was created from the time we had the East African community get involved in trying to help in Congo, and later on when the East African force was trying its best and we are seeing progress, Tshisekedi decided they are not doing what he wanted and went to SADC. SADC agreed they would come and do what he wanted and sent everybody else packing.
Now, what Paul Kagame is really saying is that, do they really want a solution? Because they were resolving a lot of issues in the DRC Congo, the East African that went to the Congo as soldiers and had some military intervention there in the Congo. They were being successful, and those were representatives from all the countries represented in the EAC. Now, but the solution that was the thing that was happening was not what the president of the Congo really wanted. That wasn't. They weren't doing exactly what their resolution and what was being resolved wasn't what he wanted, or as Paul Kagame says, or what his I'll call them handlers, what his handlers wanted. Now, let me give you a little bit about the president of DRC, and you forgive me because his name, Felix Antoine Tshisekedi, I can't really pronounce it, but he's not showing up very much, not at all. He's not hardly saying anything. He's keeping his mouth shut. And for what reason? He's not showing up in meetings. He's not, and then what is so upsetting is he dismissed the people in the EAC that came down to help the soldiers that came down to intervene in what was going on. He dismissed them. And then he called South African President Ramaphosa to help him out because Ramaphosa seemed to be complying with what he suggested. But the whole thing of it is that he has no intention, the president of the DRC has no intention on coming with a peaceful settlement. What he has an intention of is taking over that state. Let me explain it to Americans this way. That Omaha, Nebraska is a state, and New York is a state. That the government would come in and decide that Nebraska had the wealth and everything they wanted, so they're going to they're going to take over Nebraska. Instead of, they're just going to take it over. The president now is going to run the Nebraska. I mean, we almost are faced with that, but the president now is going to run Nebraska. Nebraska has no more state laws. The president is going to rule Nebraska. Do you think Nebraskans wouldn't be up in a roar? Do you think there would not be a fight if the president of the country tried to take the states over? Well, that's what's happening in the Congo. The president of the Congo is trying to take that eastern state over. He wants to take it over. And why? Because of the mineral wealth and making a headway for those that are feeding him, that have interest in what's happening in the Congo, that have financial interest in what's happening in the Congo. With him at the helm and doing what they want him to do, they have easy access to Congo. And this is why the people burned down the embassies in Kinshasa, or wherever, the capital.
Meanwhile, protesters have attacked several foreign embassies in DRC's capital of Kinshasa.
Of the Congo. They burned down almost all those international embassies. But let me tell you something about the president of the Congo. He is not educated. He didn't finish school. He left the Congo at one time, the DRC Congo, because his father was a leader. He wasn't. He has really no real background of rule or leadership. No real background of leadership. If you look it up. When he was in Belgium, he went to Belgium. He could have gone to school, but instead he was selling pizzas. He was a pizza delivery boy. Now this is who the current president of DRC is now. He has no history of any real positions in government to understand and where he has really did anything and where people really know him. How he got elected, I don't know, because they don't really know him other than knowing his father, who died in 2017. And he became president in 2019. They say under democracy. It's really strange about this democracy, but I want you to listen to Paul Kagame. But the narrative is what it is. So, what will happen is that if there seems to be no settlement of what's going on and seems to be no agreement, then they'll try to get UN troops to come in like they've been doing. And they'll kill everybody. They kill everybody. So what he is explaining, I want you to listen to, because that's what's going on over here. So they kill everybody. They get in there and do it. And they take over. And this is not just a job for 2025. These people have 50-year plan on how they're going to take control of us again. It's a 50-year plan. It's not just something they developed overnight. It had something to even do with the genocide of Rwanda, the people in genocide of Rwanda. And you hardly ever hear mention that group that were very responsible for the genocide, that ran into the Congo, that had been working to get Paul Kagame out of his position as president. And that's what they're working for. That's what they're working for, letting him know it's too much time. He shouldn't be president anymore. But I want you to listen to all these narratives. I want you to listen to it and listen to the man that is actually in the mix. If the president of the DRC is doing right, how come he can't come out and say it? How come he can't tell us that Paul Kagame is lying, that he's doing this and he can't tell you. No, he has not said anything about Paul Kagame. Who has said things about Paul Kagame is everybody but him. Why, he can't speak for himself? He's the ruler. He's the president. How come he can't talk it up? Why is everybody else giving him a narrative? He doesn't even have one. He doesn't have a platform. He doesn't have a narrative. He's hiding out. There is not hardly anything online that says anything about this man and what he has done. Nothing, other than the fact that he was democratically elected. But I got some videos that show you what his democratic election done. He's killing people. Talk about killing folks. Yeah, well, let's continue to listen to Paul Kagame. I don't want to hold you long because, I get all hot under the collar about this stuff because don't stop listening to half-truths and half-narrative. You need to go to Rwanda. You see Rwanda and you look at the rest of Africa and you wonder how come the rest of Africa is all torn up, nasty trash in the street, people lying, corruption, and all those kind of things, and why this little country of 11 million people now is trying to be slandered. The president of that country, they're trying to slander him and make you think that they'll be trying to put him up for the International Criminal Court and all that kind of stuff, because that's what their trick, that's what they do. I want you to listen to him because this is a serious thing. This is very serious. And you need to share this because we need to know. It's about time all of us got out of slavery. I'm talking about you, American citizen. You are still in slavery. Listen to Trump and the people that voted him in. They're sending them other people on the plane. Don't be surprised they try to find a plane to put you on. Now listen.
East African force was trying its best and we are seeing progress. Tshisekedi decided they are not doing what he wanted and went to SADC. SADC agreed they would come and do what he wanted and sent everybody else packing. And that we complied and kept quiet. What really did we expect to come out of this? Now, worse still, I think even in East Africa itself, ourselves, maybe we have different understanding of what the problem is, and we have never come together to agree or even disagree and find a way to come together finally to do what we ought to do to deal with this problem.
Now, you know, Kenya has sent troops to Haiti, all the way to Haiti. And during the time of the Russian invasion or Ukraine invasion of Russia, however it goes, 5 or 6 African countries got together and they took a plane, they flew all the way to Russia to try to convince Putin to try to settle this war. They went to Russia. African leaders went to Russia to try to make some kind of settlement between Russia and Ukraine. You know, they went all the way to Russia. And here, these countries here, Kenya, Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, they don't have to travel all those miles. They're having problems in their own countries. But they're so busy going around the world to try to settle things around the world that right here, now convince me. Convince me.
I said, assisted genocide. We can no longer go into a country and take it over with guns and bombs and tanks and planes. That would be condemned by the world. But instead, we allow the people to kill themselves. And this is why I call it assisted genocide or assisted self-genocide. It's like assisted suicide. You can't kill a person directly, but you assist them in killing themselves. We're doing this on a vast scale to entire countries and continents today.
They have a good leader. Paul Kagame is in the list of good leaders. His people have shown proof that it's good leadership. Rwanda is one of the safest African countries here. It's safer. It's actually safer than Morocco, Algeria, Libya. It's actually safer than South Africa. It's actually safer than Tanzania. It's actually safer than where I am right now, Kenya. It's a safe country. It's cleaner than every country I've been in. Less corruption than any country I've been in. So why are they trying to destroy the leadership of Paul Kagame in Rwanda through the terrors that are being perpetrated on the people of the Congo, DRC Congo, because of their wealth? That's what it is. You move all the gold out of there, nobody will be interested in it. But DRC is very wealthy with everything that's needed worldwide. So, hey, this is Janetta. Hey, if you don't like it, hey, let me know. If you like it, let me know. Just trying to keep you informed. You can comment on it. You can agree, disagree. Let me know. If there's something I said that's not fact, you let me know. And share it because it's information is needed. If you're a black man, a black woman, if you're raising your kids to stay on their knees and not hold their head up high, then you pass up this information. You don't pay attention to it. You don't pay attention to it. But it's important, not because it came from my lips. It's because this is what's here and you're hearing about problems and I'm just passing it on. Okay? Ooh, yeah. Hey, I'm out of here. Love you, respect you, regard you, and don't take you for granted. Hey, this is Janetta. Talk to you later. Ooh. Hey, this is Janetta, and you're watching Africa Speak.